Hey guys, it's Harry from Fitment Industries here from underneath the stairs.
Are we recording?
It's your boy from down under the stairs.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and I am surrounded by my two favorite people in the world, Rainey from Custom Offsets and Jasper.
Right.
From.
I'm Jasper from Fitment Industries.
So today what we're going to talk about is automotive regrets you've had in your life.
Right.
Okay, what do we need to do?
Talk
Give
about
them the plug.
The regrets. Oh! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if wheels, tires, suspension, go to fitmentindustries.com.
Fitmentindustries.com for your wheels, tires, and suspension. If you have not caught anything in the first 45 seconds of this video, we are talking about our automotive regrets. Stuff that we did that we don't want to tell people that we regret in our lifetime. I have 9-ish years. Jasper has 2, and Rainey has 37.
I got 5. Wow. He's damn near 40.
Yeah, I know. It's a rough time. So he probably has quite a few things. So we're gonna go right down the beginning. We're gonna talk about what our biggest single most automotive regret ever was. So I'm going to start off with passing the torch to Jasper. Jasper, what was your single most biggest, largest automotive regret so far?
I think overall it's honestly going static because it's led to other problems. This is another regret. So I bought an M3 bumper.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
I bought an M3 bumper because I was like, I'm so cool. Like, I buy M3 bumpers. I don't care. And for an E36, they're like $100. And I didn't realize, Rainey, you know what E36 is. The crash bar comes with the bumper when it comes off. So I was like, damn, I'm even saving weight. Like, this thing's so heavy. I didn't put the crash bar back on. I had a lip, and I had a splitter under that. All self-tapered on. And then actually, it was self-tapered. The splitter was self-tapped only through, right. That's what I'm getting to. The splitter was only 2 on each side, and then just the rods in the middle were holding it up. So, going home from Cars and Coffee, just skirting, and then just it was so low because already it didn't have the crash bar, so it just sat lower and it wasn't supported by anything. And it's boof, and I was like, oh, I was so confused. I look behind me, the bumper is flying over the car behind me. It went, so the splitter caught, I hit a bridge, I was on a bridge, and I hit the bottom, and the whole caught. The splitter was that strong where it ripped off the whole bumper, and just soared from under my car, and yeah. So
that's your biggest regret.
Well, I think what I'm trying to say is from going static, I've had a lot of problems, right? I cracked my oil pan. My frame is just non-existent. Well, it's existing. It's flat. It's really flat. Rubbed a lot, cracked my fenders a couple, 2-3 times. Well, actually once I really, and then, but besides that, as much as I love it, at the same time it's still a regret, but I don't think I would go back.
And do it again.
Right, I think I would do it the same way.
What do you think, Rainey? What's your biggest automotive regret, single-handedly?
Oh.
So Rainey's owned
40
12 cars.
The last 3 years, yeah.
Okay, a lot of cars.
I've owned over 100.
Are you a licensed dealer?
Yep.
Are you licensed?
Some don't have titles.
Yeah, that's totally legal.
I think my biggest one was selling my truck from high school. I had a 76 C10, built motor, built trans. I ended up cracking the frame on it 2 months before I sold it.
Crack the frame.
How do you crack the frame?
No idea.
You jump it?
No.
Take it off.
You ever jumped it before?
No, we almost rolled it though. So I mean, that could have definitely been part of it.
So two-wheeler? Dubai shit?
It was one of those where I'm not gonna
sorry.
Mom, don't watch this. Whipping some on the road in Oshkosh and sent her in a little bit of a ditch. Oh, she went like this, right up against a culvert. So.
Oh, mama. Oh. Come on, let's hear more about your piles of shit then. Ooh. Come on, keep going.
I had a Mercedes in high school.
You did.
An Audi.
Any other big automotive regrets with your truck? Just besides selling it?
Selling it was the big one. That was the truck was one of those where it's oh, it looks really cool, but it's not don't put wood in the bed. I was just put wood in the bed, put stuff in the bed, use the truck. But then at the end of the day, you can spray it down, wash it up real nice, take it to car meet or whatever,
Right.
like, you know, out on the town.
It
It was
wouldn't
nice.
be like the ugliest like
Yeah.
car there.
Well, it was big, fast, cool, loud. But like it was cool. It was like my favorite truck. Like first vehicle I went out and like bought like thousands of dollars bought, and then I got rid of it. And like looking back, I'm like, that was the one vehicle I wish I would have never sold.
Sure.
But another one would have been like the Lexus was like on air, worked great, and like you said, fenders.
Yeah.
And then I switched from air ride to static. The fenders, rears, cracked numerous wheels.
Well, okay, to be fair, like I saw that car before you owned it.
Yeah.
And it was when it was on air.
It was bad.
And those fenders, so trash.
Yeah,
like
they
the
were
only
rough.
thing you could have done was wide body that car. Like
Yeah.
that was
And
not
that's why I
fixable.
did.
Yeah.
All right, so I would say probably my biggest automotive regret would be the amount of like unnecessary effort I put into my first car, my Datsun that I had. Like as I continued to work on it more and more, I thought the answer to it was spending more money on it. And then as I spent more money, I drove it less. And I drove it less, which means when I drove it, I was more careful with it, which means I had a tendency to almost break it more. Like I went super custom with a lot of stuff, or tried to, and as a result, it just got worse and worse and worse. So like, when I had it and it was like haggled together when I first bought it, it ran perfectly. And then the more stuff I tried to fix, the more went wrong with it. So like it went through motors, it went through all sorts of stuff. Like I changed the gauges out and then the gauges would go out. I had like the Intellitronics gauges and then those always fried, and then I'd fix them and then they'd fry again. And then I like molded them into the center console and made them look super nice. And then they would just like stop working halfway through. Blew out trans, put a T56 in it, but then didn't really want to break that either. So then what ended up happening is I think I finally dialed in the motor. Like I finally dialed in like the driving experience to like a point that I could enjoy it. And then I took out all the amenities I possibly could, which means I never wanted to drive it because it was loud, obnoxious, everything made noise. There's no radio, no AC, no anything.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, what could I do that would really just put the nail in the coffin? And then I decided to put over fenders on it. And my thought process was that it was gonna make it the way that I wanted it to. Now this was before I worked here, so I didn't really know a whole lot about like air and like excessive amounts of drop to like really dial in everything to make it look good. And I ruined it because what ended up happening is I shaved the rear bumper. I had a 240Z front bumper on it. It was a 280Z, but then the side skirts were actually from like an MSA Type 2 body kit. So what ended up happening is when it was repainted for the third time, they molded the side skirts onto the car, and then with the Brinkworth fender flares, they didn't match up correctly with the new line at the bottom of the side skirts. So then when we actually got it made and it got molded on, you couldn't actually flow the over fenders through the side skirt and then back up to the rear fender. So it had to get cut and then put on top of the side skirt, and then the side skirt went across, and then the over fender in the rear had to sit over it to cover the wider wheels, because we went with wider wheels, and then it arched through the back. So like without the side skirt, it would have looked, I think, pretty decent, but then because the side skirts were still stuck on, it kind of put the nail in the coffin, and I saw it, and I was like, it's nice from one angle, but to me it was pretty much dead, and then I never drove it. And ultimately I fell out of love with the car that I had fallen in love with so much. So like, I think my biggest automotive regret, to circle back to the Datsun, was probably trying to do too much. Like I did too much to the car. My favorite thing about that car was that it wasn't the young kids that loved it. It was like the 30, 40-year-old crowd that would stop me at like the gas station or the grocery store and be like, I had one of those in high school.
Right.
I raced Camaros with that with my girlfriend, now wife. Like those are always the coolest stories. And I love taking it out to drive it. I hated owning it. And I think that had a lot to do with like what I did to the car, because it was my first car, so I kept making mistakes, I kept doing things wrong. And so I pretty much had to press the reset button, sold it, and I still regret selling it, but at the same time I don't, because I know all the problems that came with that car.
My car like is, for like people who don't know, like my car is my first car. And like,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's the one car I've built for 5 years. And like, I wasn't a car person even when I first got the car.
Yeah.
And I became one. It's like, I guess I'm scared to like come to that point where I'm like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, it's a tough thing that I think a lot of car people face is like that fine line between enjoying something and then going too far. Because once you go too far with the car, a lot of times you can't go back. And that's where you reach two kinds of people. You reach the people that never sell the car, like the car that they love, and they just keep working on it, and then they just keep that car forever. And then you have the people that car hop all the time because they prefer to car hop versus stick a ton of money into a car and then waste time and waste effort versus just enjoying new things. But regardless on which one you are, I think it just comes down to kind of accepting which one you are.
It seems like there's a small like percentage of the happy medium who are building their car, but it's not all at once.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a very progressive, which are like some of the builds like I see that are like some of my most appreciated, like personally, because it's like seeing that they really took the detail into like just taking a whole year into their interior and stuff like that.
But that's just it too. The current scene is all about like, you bought the car in March, it better be finished by September, otherwise you're a chump. And it's like, that ruins a lot of it because so many people do it with these like external pressures instead of doing it yourself.
It becomes
well, yeah, I think that's when you get to the older crowd though too. Like the older crowd slows down and they enjoy their car a lot more, and that's why you don't see them change as much because they're comfortable with doing wheels, tires, suspension 1 year, and then the next year dialing in their body panels and paint, and then the next year going into the interior, and next thing you know you have a 7-8 year build, but it's what they want, and then you find that happy medium. I think when you rush into something, I think that's when you find most of your regrets with what you do with your car. So
it's a life lesson.
there you go. Anything else? Is that it?
I think that's pretty it.
So share your biggest regret in the comment section below, whether it was selling a car, modifying it to the point that you couldn't drive it anymore, or anywhere in between. We want to hear it and we'll respond to all of them. And drop your video ideas below. We have pretty much nothing else to say. Otherwise, if you're looking for wheels, tires, suspension, check out fitmentindustries.com. And Jasper?
I'm gonna be that plug because
right,
I've been
go
doing
ahead.
it in every video, as low as 0% through the month of January with Affirm. And we're also doing a giveaway with Cosmis. Easiest way to win is you buy a t-shirt, fitmentindustries.com, and you can win a set of XT206Rs.
And we're doing it to help out the Animal Humane Society. So we're gonna donate some money to some kitties and some puppies and stuff like that. We're having a ping pong tournament to decide who's winning the free set of wheels. That's
Better
all
not
I
be
got.
Mario, 'cause-
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it.
Yeah.
Rainey, you have anything?
No, that's it.
Jasper?
I think I'm good.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.